So hey guys, my name is Ishwar Sai Marti Prasad from Factsite YouTube channel, and in this video we are going to discuss about the deployment of B-2 stealth bombers by the USA in the Diego Garcia island and what's the effect of this in the China and what India will get in return. Guys, initially we have to discuss about stealth aircraft. The B-2 stealth aircraft is one of the game-changing aircraft ever built and one of the most cost-effective. One B-2 can deliver the punch of an entire aircraft carrier air wing at several orders of magnitude less in operating cost and personnel. Stealth aircraft are designed to avoid detection using a variety of technologies that reduce reflection or emission of radar, infrared rays, visible light, radio frequency, which is RF spectrum, collectively known as stealth technology. While no aircraft is totally invisible to radar, stealth aircraft make it more difficult for unconventional radar to detect or track the aircraft effectively, increase the odds of an aircraft successfully avoiding detection by the enemy radar. What are bombers? A strategic bomber is a medium to long range penetration bomber aircraft designed to drop large amounts of air to ground weaponry onto a distant target for the purposes of debilitating the enemy's capacity to wage war. Strategic bombers are designed to fly into enemy's territory to destroy the strategic targets. Example: infrastructure, logistics, military installations, factories and cities. The USAF B-2. The full form of USAF is United States Air Force B-2. 20 B-2s are in service with United States Air Force. The US reportedly has 21 of these mega bombers which it can call to action at any given time. The B-2 is capable of all altitude attack missions up to 50,000 feet, which is 15,000 meters, with a range of more than 11,000 km on internal fuel and over 19,000 km with mid-air refueling. It entered into service in 1997. It is a nuclear weapon payload carrying bomber. Unlike the submarines that are less visible and land-based missiles which are less mobile, strategic bombers which can be deployed and withdrawn at will are often used as a tool to intimidate an enemy. The bat-shaped B-2 is the most advanced strategic bomber in the world with stealth capabilities that can penetrate air defense systems. Guys, now let's move towards the next topic, which is the JDAM smart bombers. The full form of JDAM is Joint Direct Attack Munition Smart Bombers. The Northrop B-2 Spirit stealth bomber has undertaken operations in several countries, starting out in 1999 during the Kosovo War. It used its sophisticated GPS satellite-guided JDAM smart bombers for the first time in the Kosovo, which was a first for any air force anywhere in the world. The B-2 Spirit bomber has dropped at least 5 JDAM missiles on Chinese embassy, killing several staffers apart from the bombing several areas in Yugoslavia. B-2 an alternative to kill Osama bin Laden. The B-2 has been a veteran of several war operations from Iraq to Afghanistan. In fact, according to reports, due to a strategic bombing campaign, top US military officials had considered using the B-2 as an alternative to kill Osama bin Laden and wipe out the house he lived in the Abbottabad in the Pakistan in 2011. However, the Obama administration believed it needed proof of Osama bin Laden's death, which could never be provided by B-2 bombing campaign, as it would have wiped out any trace of the most wanted terrorist of the America. Northrop B-2 Spirit is not a stranger for the Pacific Ocean. The Northrop B-2 Spirit bomber is not a stranger for the Pacific Ocean. It has undertaken dummy bombing campaign in the South Korea way back in 2013 as a part of South Korean United States military exercises when it flew over the Korean peninsula for the first time. North Korea was quick to protest against the use of of B-2 Spirit bombers, mainly due to its destructive power and accuracy. The B-2 stealth bombers have sophisticated mechanics. The B-2 has sophisticated mechanics which it exploits to swoop down on targets without being detected. The bomber's superior sensor and infrared camouflage features make it a potent weapon of war which can be quickly deployed. Guys, now let's discuss about the present situation, which is B-2 stealth bomber at Diego Garcia Island. The US had used two B-2 bombers in precision guided bombing operation against Islamic State targets in 2017. According to reports, the Pentagon has deployed 6 B-52s at Diego Garcia beyond the reach of Iran's ballistic missiles in an attempt to protect its valuable asset. The move came just days after US carried out strikes in Iraq's airport, killing Iran's Quds Force commander Qasem Soleimani. The bombers stationed in San Diego can still take up operations in Iran. Message to China. US deploys B-2 stealth bombers to Indian Ocean base. The US Air Force has deployed 3 B-2 stealth bombers to tiny island of Diego Garcia in the Indian Ocean for the first time since 2016, as China continues to ramp up its live fire military exercises near the Galwan Valley. Diego Garcia is considered as vital base for the US given its proximity to the Middle East and South China Sea region. In addition, Diego Garcia is one of the few of the US bases believed to have specialized shelters meant to house the B-2 stealth bombers. The B-2 needs specialized shelters for prolonged deployment to ensure its stealth skin is undamaged. The American B-2A nuclear-capable Spirit bombers took off on Tuesday from the Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri, flew across northern Australia and on the militarized atoll at part of the British Indian Ocean Territory. The aircraft were refueled in the air several times according to the information given by the US military. The last time the bombers were deployed on the Diego Garcia, which lies about 1,200 kilometers south of the Maldives, was 4 years ago during a period of tension in the South China Sea after an international arbitration tribunal rejected Beijing's claims to disputed waters, while the 3 bombers with call signs Reaper 11, 12 and 13 did not pass over the sensitive areas of Western Pacific, South China Sea or the Taiwan Strait. Their presence on the Diego Garcia is a clear sign of the United States military strength in the Indo-Pacific, observers said. The movement of air-based nuclear power is a demonstration of might, said Zhao Tong, a senior fellow at Nuclear Policy Program at Carnegie Endowment for International Peace in the Beijing. There doesn't need to be a strike. A stealth bomber is hard to detect or intercept, said Beijing-based military commentator Zhou Chenming. So if it flew into Chinese airspace with a nuclear warhead, it would be up to Americans to decide if they wanted to start a war or not. The US bombers deployment comes amid a period of intense military maneuvering by the People's Liberation Army PLA, as Beijing finds itself increasingly at odds with not only the US but also Taiwan and India. Chinese troops are set to begin 2 days of live fire drills off to the Zhoushan Islands, an archipelago about 550 km north to Taiwan. People's Liberation Army has accused the United States of continuously making negative moves that send the wrong messages to the independent forces in the Taiwan as a self-ruled island that Beijing considers a part of China. Our forces will be on high alert at all times and take all necessary measures to counter any attempt to split the country and make Taiwan independent country, a spokesman for Eastern Theater Command said on Thursday. Zhou Tong said that although China could do nothing about the US military deployments, it might respond by boosting its counter-attacking capabilities. The change to balance of power caused by the US deployment might cause a fresh crisis, he said. It doesn't help to settle the problem, instead it makes it more worse. As mountain standoff with India continues, does India need fleet of strategic bombers? This is a big diplomatic question. Now let's analyze and answer. India doesn't require avoid long-range bombers because our enemies are nearby. Russia and America use bombers because of the distance between these two countries is very high. The bombers can carry larger payloads to longer distance at slow speed. India and China's base near the line of actual control lie many thousand feet above sea level. Kashgar is situated 4,000 feet above the sea level. The high, thin air can cause challenges to combat aircraft. A lack of lifting power can reduce payload on fighters to minimal fuel and just a few small missiles. Bombers could face some problem in that region. Less fuel means less range. For the Chinese, aerial refueling isn't really an option, as Chinese Air Force operates at most a couple dozen tanker planes. All that is to say, Western China, especially the Himalayas with their 20,000 foot peaks, is a less than ideal zone for air combat operations. The B-2 is the stealth bomber available in service, but it's not for sale and is extremely expensive, something in range of $2 billion per aircraft. The prime disadvantage of using large aircraft is that the chance of getting detected by the enemy radars are much higher. Now imagine losing such expensive aircraft to enemy firing. That cannot be easily justified. So instead of purchasing one big expensive aircraft, why not sure medium to heavy fighter aircraft capable of carrying heavier bombers? If India had the technology to build strategic bomber, then we would have inducted them IAF, but purchasing means there's a lot of overheads like service costs and the availability of parts, and most of the aircraft contains 4 engines. They need to be regularly maintained. Apart from all these, there could be some restrictions on importing strategic bombers to other nations, which could also play a factor for India not purchasing one.